Professor Helen from the Open University and Mike Rowlands, Managing Director of LShift. Thank you for talking with me today. First of all, Helen, if I can ask you, you've been carrying out some research via the Agile Research Network over the last few months. Can you tell us a little bit about the network?
We set up the Agile Research Network to work with companies who are facing challenges with agile software development. From years of experience of doing this with other companies, we found that actually it's quite important to make sure that we understand the specific circumstances that companies are facing with their challenges. And so what we wanted to do was to set up a network that allowed the companies to come to us with the challenges that they face. We could spend time actually looking at that challenge and understanding it in more detail, and then trying to identify research that might help or support their challenge and help them to overcome it by changing the way that they're working. People often talk about the gap between research and industry, and trying to do this in other ways in the past has been a bit of a challenge for a range of reasons. And one of the things we're particularly doing with the Agile Research Network is responding quickly. So we don't go away for a long time and spend years where you don't hear from us. We're actually responding very quickly to the organisation and feeding back suggestions in a timely manner so they can pick them up and work with them.
Okay, thank you. Now, Mike, the DSDM consortium is funding the research. How did you become involved?
The DSDM consortium invited us to come up with some ideas for something that we might want to look at, might want to research under this scheme. And we quickly identified that this topic of managing user experience design within an agile environment, specifically DSDM, was a big thorny problem we wrestled with on a number of projects over the 13 years we've been running. So it seemed like a natural fit, and so we thought, yeah, well, great, well, let's get involved. Let's at least have, let's try and look at the subject properly in a sort of more systematic fashion, and we thought that it might help our process in doing that, having external observers involved.
And what has the result been for you?
It's been very interesting. So Helen and the team have essentially brought in researchers to observe meetings, retrospectives we've been running, involved in requirements sessions, sometimes estimation sessions, the interactions, meeting the design team as well as the development team and all the various roles, and essentially getting to understand the problems associated with it, getting inside the mindset of all the different characters, the people who play the different roles, and essentially then writing up as I say, in a more systematic fashion, both the observations about what actually went on, but also the recommendations. So for us, the problem quite often with running agile projects is you are running all the way through. So you very rarely have a chance to step back and look at it objectively, and that's the main thing we got out of it, is that help. That sort of objective help.
Mm-hmm. So Helen, what are the next steps?
Well, so we've been, as Micah said, we've spent some time with the company understanding the challenge, and we've made some suggestions. We're currently evaluating things that they've changed. So in the fullness of time, we should be able to say, well, look, this company adopted these particular ways of working, and this is the effect it's had. So we do want to have a full cycle where we're not just identify the challenge and make recommendations, but actually then say, well, so how did they do? Have they done all right? Or what worked, what didn't work? So we do a proper evaluation on it. We also have a draft white paper which will feed into the wider Agile community, because it's, we give some things back to the company themselves and specifically for their situation, but also we're writing things for the Agile community. So I say the white paper will be out soon, I hope, which will give more detail on the case study and what we found and the kinds of things that happened. We are also going to be writing research papers, so there will be at least one research paper from this case study. And we are looking for more collaborators. We have another year's funding. We've spent about 6 months working with Mike and his colleagues. So in about 6 months, chunks of time, that means we've got at least two more companies we could engage with. So we're looking for further collaborators.
Okay, so anyone who is interested in talking to you can get in touch with you via the DSDM website. I imagine dsdm.org. If they inquire that way, we can pass on the information.
Yes, Anybody who's interested, if they look on the DSDM website, then they'll be able to find our email address, DSDM Agile Network, Research Network.
Yeah.